Okay, so this is chapter 1, trendline and regression analysis. So this one I have taught you before, and this one you'll also be using it for your assignment. So let me just show you again lah. Alright, so modeling relationship and trends. We create charts. For cross-sectional data, we use scatter chart. For time series, we can use a line chart. Alright, so these are the type of mathematical functions. The type of chart you have, whether it's a linear chart. Linear maksudnya straight line. Logarithmic nya tukar kepada log, polynomial, power and whatnot. Alright, so trendline tool, we can create a trend line in our series. Okay, Katok minta ajar lah. Dengan kita we just go through the slides first, and then in the second part of the class, then I can show you sikit-sikit lah what are the things you can do, and you can also use this thing for your assignment lah. Alright, so this is a trend line. Maksudnya dalam kita pun carta, kita tambah line. Alright, R square is the measure of fit of the data. So R square should be between 0 to 1. 0 maksudnya no relationship. Okay, maksudnya kita pun model ya, ataupun kita pun data set dah hubung kait antara satu sama lain. Tapi 1, yes, positive relationship is perfect, perfect relationship. Alright, so usually your R square will be between 0 to 1. Makin dekat kepada kosong, that means lemah lah dia pun relationship. Makin dekat kepada 1, that means a very very strong relationship. Alright, so this is a linear function for sales data. Alright, we can create a chart between demand and sales. So in this case, apa yang nya pola ialah this is scatter chart, and then nya tambahkan trend line di dalamnya. Alright, this one pula is a line chart. Right, so you plot your data. This is the date, tarikh, and then this is the harga dalam USD. Alright, untuk menunjukkan satu trend untuk harga minyak. So you can see it can go up. Alright, trendline tool, so type of trends. So this is the R square. You can see that R square nya makin dekat kepada 1. So untuk polynomial type of relationship, nya akan try to fit as much as possible towards your data. So nya bukan straight line. So selalunya kalau straight line is called linear. Set dah dalam tu. Alright, so you can see that logarithmic, for example, weak relationship, exponential strong, polynomial almost perfect. Okay, so this is a third order polynomial. So you can see you try to curve the line as much as possible, fitting towards the data. Alright, caution about polynomials. So polynomial, even though nya akan try to fit towards your data, it's going to be a bit difficult to interpret your results. So usually a lot of people think that okay, R square makin tinggi makin bagus. No, what you want to see is the relationship. You want to be able to interpret the results. So even though it might be low, but if you are able to give a good interpretation, and that is good enough. Okay, so use your eye to make a good judgment. Regression analysis. So this is what we are going to do, because we are going to build a model. So what does this model do? It shows the relationship between a dependent variable and an independent variable. So similarly, in terms of your group assignment, so you are trying to show the relationship between GDP and the variables that influence GDP. So in terms of regression, we can have simple linear ataupun multiple regression. So simple linear maksudnya one independent variable. So one dependent GDP, one independent variable. So let's say your independent variable is inflation. So simple linear regression. Tapi if you have more than one independent variable, it's going to be known as a multiple regression. Alright, so a linear relationship, it can be downward sloping. Downward sloping maksudnya negative relationship. So apabila tok menaik, the X bertambah, Y-nya menurun. Downward sloping. Non-linear maksudnya it doesn't go in a straight line. Okay, it's curved. And then no relationship. You don't know whether it's going up, going down, ke bawah, you do not see a pattern here. Alright, so usually in terms of Excel, we do a scatter chart first to find what type of trend does the data have. All right. So this data, do you guys have this home market value? Do you have it? Do you have the Excel file? Can you check?
Wait, madam.
Yes or no?
Ada madam.
Ada?
Ada,
Yes.
madam.
Alright. So let's ambil the home market value pun file. Alright. So you open your file. Okay. So we follow this. Initially, Nyamada, let's try to do a scatter plot between square feet and the price of the house. Okay. So are you guys ready? Yes.
Okay, madam.
Alright. So we want to find a relationship, square feet and the market value. So what do? You insert and you have your chart here and you ambil scatter. Okay. So you click scatter plot. So you'll get an empty chart. Select data. Alright, so you can put the range here. Let's see. Oh yeah. Alright. Let me know if you want me to repeat. Okay, are you able to get the same chart? Boleh repeat. Okay, so let me repeat. Alright, so madam delete chart. Alright, so kita punya charta is between square feet and market value. How do you know that? So when you look at the slides, market value, this is square feet and the value of the house. Dua variable saja. House age tidak termasuk. Alright, so you go to insert. Okay, and then you pilih scatter. Alright, so you choose this one. And then you get an empty chart. And then you click select data. Alright, so untuk memudahkan, I just select all. Alright, so madam click this small table dekat stop untuk kecilkan. So I just select square feet and market value. The two column. So nya terus keluar situ lah. If nya si keluar, that means you guys have to do it manually. Either you tambah sikit-sikit, tapi you try dulu. You try dulu select na. Alright. And square feet should be here or horizontal axis. If I'm not mistaken. Or is it market value? Alright. So you just select the whole data dalam kita pun chart data range and then you click OK. And you get something like this. This is market value, this is square feet. Okay, market value, square feet. Let me know if you've gotten the same one. I know kita orang pun Excel is slightly different from mine sebab Madam pun is MacBook. If your friends want to show how to get it, boleh juga dalam Microsoft Office pun ya, OS. Alright, dapat sih? Dapat? Okay. Yang lain? Okay. So, alright. So now, if you look, can I proceed? I assume semua dapat. Dapat ah? Okay. So if you look at this one, so you will see that yang pun carta looks clearer daripada Madam pun carta. So you can see that cartanya lebih besar, lebih dekat. So you look at the x axis. This is paksi y, alright, and this is paksi. This is paksi x and this is paksi y. So you can see that they meet at 1004. So what we want to do now is we want to reduce this, and we want to say you do not want it to start from 0. You want it to start from 1004. So you select the axis and then you right click and then you select format axis. Alright, so lepas format axis, so axis, and then you start at minimum, you start at 1004. Alright, sita minimum, you start at 1004. Alright, so itu tu, and you can see it looks like this. Tapi debah tu, your paksi Y kita belum atur. You want me to repeat that? Why I think it starts at 60,000. Okay. So let me know if you want me to repeat that. No need, okay. Proceed, okay. So, and then you change for paksi Y. You follow the slide. Okay, you rather than start at 0, kita mau start at 60,000. So you select, you right click. Sini je tu. Format axis. Okay. And then minimum, you type 60,000. Alright. And then tutup. So now it looks like this. Sama. Okay. And then you want to add square feet dekat debah, boleh. So you just go here. Axis title. Primary. So you select and then you type square feet. So it looks like this. And then let's say the squares behind you, the grid lines. So you want to change it into lines. Satu line saja, bukan grid. So what you can do is you select your grid lines. Okay. Chart design. Chart element. You go to grid line. So you untick this one. Primary, major, vertical. Okay. So you can untick. Now it looks like this, right? So you just set your chart element, fine. This one, primary, major, vertical. You untick. So in terms of your charts, there are many things that you can do with your chart. You can add axis, all right? You can add titles to your axis, a chart label kalau nak. Okay, data labels kalau nak, error bars kalau nak, grid lines tadi, legend. So legend is simply what do the dots mean. Kalau you nak letak legend, you want to put it at the right, top, left, bottom. And the trend line as we have studied earlier. So trend line is simply this is your scatter plot. You nak tambahkan satu line dekat sini to represent your data. So that dia nampak as you can see from the scatter plot, it's very obvious. This is the positive punya data whereby as the square feet increases, the market value increases. So dia positif, dua-dua naik sekali. So if you want to insert trend line, so currently it's none. Okay. Okay, so you linear maksudnya is a straight line. So you can click here. So you can see this is the straight line. Okay. Ataupun ataupun let's say you berubah fikiran, you tersalah buat, okay, so you can just click the line and you delete the line, right, just like that. And then options, then you can see polynomial, let's say, all right, power or moving average. It's just that because our our data ni tak banyak, alright, and dia berkumpul dekat sini, so you do not really see the difference. So polynomial you can increase order, second order, third order, fourth order. So you can see the as the order increases, now your line is starting to try to follow how the data looks like. So sometimes although you punya line tu menyerupai data, tapi visually you nampak macam kenapa macam ular. So visually dia tak cantik lah. Alright. So whatever it is. So that one is the trend line. Alright, so let's go back to the slides. Alright, so finding the best fitting regression line. So in this case, there are two regression line. Alright, how do you determine the best regression line? So this one, we can do an estimate. So this one can be done very, very simply by adding a trend line. So what you can do is you go back to your data. Sorry, baik Madam besarkan. Alright, so you go back to your data and then you go to chart design, add chart element, go to trend line, and then you go to linear. Alright. Okay, so you click linear. So you get a straight line like this. And then what you do is that you right click from the line. And then you right click and then you boleh letak format trend line. Alright, so lepas you format trend line, so dekat format trend line, you can actually tick display equation on chart and display R square. So when you tick those two, so this will come out. So this is the line, meaning Y is equal to 35.036x plus 32673. So this is the model explaining your data. And then the R square, as you can see, R square dia dah kira sekali, alright, is equal to 0.5347, alright, meaning your line can explain 53% of your data. Alright, so as you can see, because your line taklah dia terkena semua dots ni kan. Alright, dia macam boleh cover dalam 53% of the movement of your data. Alright. So this is using Excel to find the best regression line. So you got the same values. Least square regression, we have the simple linear regression, and we can estimate parameters, okay, from our data. Alright, and then we also have residual. So residual is the error term. Maksudnya apa yang tidak covered by the model. So in this case, the model only covers 53%. Betul tak? Ada lagi 47% yang tidak cover. So in statistics, where does the 43% go? It goes into our error term dalam kita punya residual. Okay. So least square regression, the best fitting line minimizes the sum of square of the residual. We can calculate equal to intercept and equal to slope. Kita boleh gunakan Excel function. Okay. So untuk kira intercept between the two values, we can actually calculate sama dengan slope sama dengan intercept. Alright, so let's do this in our Excel. Let's go back to our data. Alright, so let's try to calculate intercept. And then slope. So we use the formula sama dengan intercept. Okay, so our Y value and our X value. Alright, so how do I know which one is Y, which one is X? We follow this lah. Okay, kita ikut kita punya charta tadi. And so bila you ikut charta, this is paksi Y, this is paksi X. Alright, so sama juga intercept. They ask you for the Y value and for the X value. So Y value, madam letakkan market value because this is paksi Y. Okay, and the X value, madam letakkan square feet. So of course, when you're doing your calculation based on your formulas, you tak include you punya label lah, you punya header you tak masukkan. Alright, so you can see that 32637.219 is the same. This is the intercept 673. Alright, so let's look at the slope. Sama dengan slope. Okay, so the Y value, which is market value, comma, and then the X value, which is the square feet. Alright, so you get the same amount, 35.036. So basically, you can get the same results either by using the trend line option in your chart ataupun you can also use a formula. Alright, so can I continue?
Yes, madam.
Okay. So the next part, estimate Y when X equal to 1,750 square feet. So what is the value of Y? We have our equation already. So Y, we put the value of X dulu. X is 1750 square feet. So what is y? So y is equal to, we follow this equation, 35.036 times x tambah dengan intercept. Right? So value. So basically you are solving the model punya equation lah. So you bagi estimation. Sekiranya x, if the house is 1,750 square feet, what is the market value of the house? So you can say, oh, an estimate is about $93,986. Okay. Alright. So another way is kita guna satu lagi function, trend. Nama dia, trend. So basically you are giving Excel two lines, okay, two data sets, and suruh dia kira sekiranya you input satu data. Alright. So another way is you gunakan trend function sama dengan trend. The y value, which is market value tadi, comma, the x value. Alright, and then comma, the new value is 1750. Okay, so you would get the same answer. So basically, trending is just a formula that you input into your Excel, whereby you already have you punya data. You already have these two data, so you want Excel to calculate ataupun compute for you what is the estimate sekiranya x value is like this, 1750. Alright, so far so good.
Okay, madam.
Right, so the others, Amar je yang reply. Okay, selalu tengok Ryan duduk tepi tingkap. Hari ni tak ada. Alright, so okay, Esther pun okay. Okay.
Just nice, madam.
Nice. Alright, so let us continue. Now, we can do regression with a regression punya data analysis. Alright, so we can do that. So let's try to do it. So go to data and then click data analysis. So I assume Fadila is having some connection problems. Alright, so
Yes,
it's okay, Fadila. Alright, we try our best. I hope you guys, none of you are staying overnight atas kelas, atas pokok. Alright, Alhamdulillah, you guys are in a better condition. Some people have to try really hard just to get internet connection. Okay. So now let us continue. So katakan kita nak buat regression gunakan data analysis. So you can see that dalam Excel there are so many ways to do the same thing. So it's up to you lah and your knowledge of Excel lah. Kalau you punya knowledge tu tinggi, you tahulah you ada alternative A, B, C, D untuk buat benda yang sama. Alright, so data analysis and then we go down to regression and then you click OK. Alright, so Y range tadi is market value. So you select market value. Okay, X range is square feet. Alright, and then of course you tick label because you select yang atas tu is the label. Alright, so you can tick all this, residual plot, line plot, normal plot. Alright. And confidence level. Okay. And then you click OK. So when you click OK, so this is the calculation that Excel will do for you. This one I have taught you before because this is your group assignment. Alright. So the only difference about this exercise with your group assignment is that dia punya difference apabila you buat data analysis tadi untuk regression, this one hanya ada satu variable. Dalam you punya assignment, you ada banyak variable, kan? So your X variable ada banyak. So what you do is your X variable tu kena duduk sebelah-sebelah and you drag dia. You select ke semua lah. Okay. So satu untuk your Y variable and then let's say you nak letak house age and square feet. You can do that. Alright. Y range you select house age and square feet. So you akan tengok X range dia A sampai ke D. Alright, so this is how you do your assignment. For your X values, you letakkan kolom dia sebelah-sebelah and you just select and you drag. Okay. Alright, so let's go back to our results. Alright, so this is our results for our regression analysis. So you can see that the intercept and the slope is the same value seperti yang kita kira tadi 32673, 35036. So it's the same value and this is the same value. The reason being is that as I told you before, it's just Excel's way of calculating benda yang sama tapi different ways of calculation. So you can see that in terms of estimating the results, Excel is very consistent. Okay, so kalau input you sama, it will give you the same answers. It's very consistent in its answers. Alright, so basically this is your results. This is your R square, 0.5347. So you can see that in your data, R square 0.5347. Very consistent. Okay, so now in terms of your data, your results, the most important part for you later, especially in doing your assignment, is for you to be able to interpret your results. Sebab dalam you punya group assignment, you ada you punya write up and you ada you punya analysis. So this analysis is the easiest part. Sebab you click data analysis, you pilih regression, you run and you terus dapat you punya results. The difficult part is how do you explain? Alright, how do you show to me, okay, that you understand what you are doing? So let me just highlight some of the data that you need to explain in your write-up. Okay, so madam highlight, you can highlight your data so that you know. So these are your these are the items that you need to explain. Alright, so these are some of the data that you need to explain and these are just some of the residual plots. So for this one, because your data set cuma ada satu X variable, satu Y variable, so you can see your plots cuma ada 3. Nanti when you are doing your group assignment, you will see your plots ada banyak. So this residual plot is just to show how does your data look like. So far it looks okay. Alright, next is how do you explain your R square? So R square, okay, you can Google this by the way, so you can give a better explanation. So R square is an explanation about the strength of your model. So in this case, 53% kan? So 53.47% of the changes in home can be explained by the size ataupun square feet. And a depiction or a result of the explanation of your variable tadi. So in this case, apabila R square kamu 0.53, that means 53% of the changes in home market value can be explained by the size ataupun the square feet. Alright, so you have another 43% of harga rumah that is not explained by the size, which is logic lah. Satu could be due to the design of the house. Satu could be due to the location of the house. Satu could be due to the current current state of the house. Kalau house tu rosak, banyak kena repair, then the value will go down and whatnot. So there are many things that affect the value of a house. So in our example, we only pilih satu variable lah for this exercise, satu variable saja, square feet. Yang lain kita tak masukkan. Alright. Observation, that means this is N. So N maksudnya ada 42 data points. Alright. Degree of freedom, this one we have studied in the last class. Degree of freedom is also equal to N minus 1. Alright, N ada 42, tolak 1, degree of freedom ada 41. Okay, and then the next one is significance F. So significance F is how correct, how good is our model. So in this case, apa ni? 3.7902E. So you look at this 0.08. So maksudnya you punya significant F ni depan ni ada 7 kosong. Okay, so your value is actually 0.00000000379. Cuma because kalau dia letak banyak sangat kosong, nanti you fikir jawapan dia ataupun the value is 0. So what you do is you go to number, you boleh letak this one, comma. Okay, and you tambahkan kosong. You see it now? Alright. So now for significant F, alright, this value must be less than 10%. Okay, so madam letak sini. (0.1) or 10%. So that means alright, so if the value is less than 0.1 ataupun 10%, that means your model is significant. If the value is more than 0.1 ataupun more than 10%, that means your model is not significant. Maksudnya, it cannot be used to explain the changes in your dependent variable. In this case, yes, it is significant. So later when you are doing your assignment, you check. Alright, so you check. Kalau dia tak significant, then there is something wrong with the data that you're using. Sebab your assignment kan GDP ada banyak jenis data and whatnot. So you check balik. These are the coefficients. So the coefficient will make up the model. So your model will look like this. Is equal to 32673.22 plus 35.04 square feet. Okay, plus error lah. E is the error term. Error maksudnya these are the unknowns yang kita tak tahu, which is not included in the model, which is fine. Okay, so you can see that market value is equal to kalau rumah tu tak ada size pun, okay, dia dah ada benchmark land, dia punya minimum value is 32,000 and makin bertambah square feet, each square feet akan menambahkan value of the house by $35.04. This is what it means. And then you look at the p value. So this one shows whether your variable is significant or not. So in this case, you tengok negatif 0.08 sama dengan kat atas tadi. So it is 0.00000, ada 70379. So this value must also be less than 0.1. So madam letak dekat sini. Alright, so this is basically some interpretation of the regression results. Okay, so let me continue. So this one sama macam kita tadi. So these are some explanation. All right, multiple R, R square, adjusted R square, standard error. Okay. So macam Madam explained tadi, 50% of the changes in home market value can explain by the home size. The standard error is 7287, less than the standard deviation. Alright, ANOVA is an analysis of variance. So you want to determine whether variation in Y is due to changes in variation in X. Alright, so for ANOVA kita boleh buat juga. Alright, so untuk ANOVA, what we can do is, this one I think they have computed. Okay, so kita cuba kira. We go back to our data. So this is our data tadi. We go click dekat data and then click dekat data analysis and you go up, you go to ANOVA. Sekejap, Madam check. Dia ada bagi tahu which ANOVA? Dia tak bagi tahu. Alright, so let's choose the first one. Alright, so single factor. Okay, click OK. So the input range, square feet and market value. Group by column, label in the first row. And then you click OK. Alright, so you click OK. Okay, ataupun looks like different results. 3, okay. 2441, let me see. Then Madam have to go to another ANOVA code. Alright, because they tak mention. Oh, I think the 42. Alright, so dia tak nak. So I don't know whether data yang dia bagi Madam ni tak cukup. But anyway, alright, so moving on. So okay, so basically the results, it's still the same. What you need to look are the same things. You need to look at the R square and whatnot, and you need to look at significance F. Alright, for you to interpret your data. I don't know why we are not able to do this, but it's okay, we just move on. Alright, so testing your hypothesis, an alternate method for testing is using the t-test, alright, beta minus 0 divided by standard error. Alright, and then we use the p-value to calculate to draw a conclusion. So this one I've mentioned to you. Okay, confidence interval for regression coefficient. So the lower 95% and upper 95%, it just shows unknown values. So meaning there are certain things that your model does not capture. Kenapa tak capture? Because in this case, your model only covers market value and square feet. Ada banyak lagi variable lain yang dia tak capture. So what statistic does is that they will put it into error, into the error term. Okay. So for example, for the home market value data, a 95% confidence interval for the intercept is between 14,000 and 50,000. All right. So let's go back to our results. This one, this is what it means. All right, 14,000 and 50,000. 40,000. So meaning the minimum amount for the intercept could be 40,000. The upper amount is 50,000. You can see that dia punya jarak tu is very very big. Alright. So the apa nama? Difference between the minimum and the maximum is quite high, even for the slope. Alright, so for example, although we estimate a house with 1,750 square feet, it should get this value. Okay, but there is a possibility that the minimum bukan this one kan, you tukar kepada the lowest amount. Because there is a possibility that this house, okay, for this size could get a lower price, or it could go as high to 130,000. The reason being due to other factors that is not captured in the model tadi, as I mentioned. Okay, residual analysis and regression assumption. So residual analysis is the difference between the actual value and predicted value. Okay, so rule of thumb, standard residuals outside plus minus 2 or plus minus 3 potential outliers. Excel provides a table and a plot of residual. So we can go back to our results. So this is our residual plot. Alright, so apa yang above, as mentioned, 2 or 3 could be outlier. Outlier maksudnya bukannya data tu menipu, tapi they could be certain factors that make these values higher than average or lower than average. Macam kadang-kadang, let's say kita nak ukur ketinggian secara purata, ketinggian of our classmates. Alright, tapi tiba-tiba ada seorang tu terlampau tinggi. So adakah dia menipu dia punya ketinggian? No kan? It's just that in statistics, that person is known as an outlier. Dia terkeluar daripada average. And then mungkin ada certain people yang terlampau rendah. Okay, so if dia terkeluar daripada average, also known as an outlier. So this is the residual plot. So if it's above 2 or above 3 or lower than 2 or lower than 3, then most probably it is an outlier. So residual output ada dekat sini juga. Okay. Alright, so how do we interpret? So yang jauh ni, terkeluar ni, most probably it's an outlier. So you can check through the value of standard residual. Checking assumption for our data, linearity, for us to examine the scatter diagram, it should appear to be going in a straight line. Okay, and residual plot, it should appear to be random. Normality of errors, we can look through a histogram of the residual. And then homoscedastic, the variation of the regression line is constant. Maksudnya dia tak ada certain trend. Okay, independence of error. So the observation should not be related. Alright, so linearity, going in a straight line. No pattern in the residual plot. Normality of errors, it should look somewhat like a histogram. Dia slightly skewed to the right, tapi masih nampak lah shape histogram. Okay, homoscedastic. So dia punya spread of data tak ada trend. Okay, it's not going anywhere. Independence of error. Okay, and then the next one for multiple linear regression. So tadi kita simple linear sebab kita ada dua variable saja. Satu market value is determined by square feet. Alright, so multiple linear regression, that means more than one variable. Okay. For multiple linear regression, we estimate the regression coefficient, also known as partial regression. So basically this is the model, alright? So whereby you expect the changes in Y is due to the changes in X, alright? Okay, so kita masih boleh gunakan the regression tool, okay? And ANOVA can test for the significance of the entire model. Alright. For ANOVA, it computes the F statistic for our data. Alright. And the multiple linear regression also provides information to test the hypothesis. So basically for your assignment nanti, your group assignment is multiple regression. Okay. So this is an example. Do you guys have this data? Student graduation rate. Guys?
Yes, madam.
Alright, so you guys have this data. Okay, so cuba kita buka. Ada ke? Are you sure?
College and universities.
Macam tak ada je?
Tak ada.
Madam pun said dah. Alright, so we don't have the data, so it's okay. We just go through the slides. Okay? Okay, so basically you regress. So sama juga, you just click regression and you select. Okay, so you come up with the model. So the model is done through the coefficient. So basically graduation is equal to 1792 plus 0.072 median set minus 2485. So you know the drill lah. Okay. So the value of R square indicates that 52%. So let's look at R square. Yes, it's 52%. And then you look at significance F. So yes, this is less than 0.1. Okay, so model boleh pakai. And then you look at the P value. So the P value only the intercept saja more than 0.1. Yang lain is less than 0.1. Yes, so that means all these variables can be used to affect the graduation of a student. Okay. So building a good regression model should only include significant independent variables. However, it's not clear what will happen when we add or remove variables to a model. Okay, so adjusted R square reflects the number of independent variables and the sample size. Okay. A systematic building approach. So we can construct a model with all independent variables and check for significance of the independent variable. Okay, identify the variable that has the largest P value and remove certain variables. So kira macam you guna kaedah cuba-cuba lah, alright, to build a good model lah. So mula-mula, let's say you start with 4 variables, you remove one, so you tinggal 3 variables, and then you see whether your R square berubah. Does it increase or does it decrease and whatnot. Alright, so this one is another data. Let me see. Banking data. So I don't know whether we have this data. So rasa macam tak ada. Let me see. So ini saja data yang ada. Credit risk, home market value, purchase, sales transaction and sales unit. So we don't have that data. So I'll just go through with it. So you can see that in terms of this data, bila you tengok P value, alright, so you ada age is more than 0.1, okay, and then you ada wealth more than 0.1. So home value has the largest, okay, oh sorry, age tadi ada E, sorry, madam tak perasan. Okay, so in this case, home value has the largest P value which is 0.4. So what you can do is, home value ni you keluarkan daripada you punya model and you run sekali lagi. So bila run kali kedua, alright, so the first time you run your data, you find that the R square is 0.94. The second time you run, the R square masih 0.94 tapi dekat belakang ni tambah sikit. So you can see that when you tolak ataupun you remove that particular variable, your result become better. Okay, and your P value semuanya significant alright. So you can say that okay, your model you tak gunalah that home value, you guna all the other variables. So alternate criterion, we can use the T statistic. If T is less than 1, standard error will increase and adjusted R square will increase. Alright, multicollinearity occurs when there are strong correlation among the independent variable. Okay, so multicollinearity akan menyebabkan satu variable affect the other variables. This happens especially in financial data. So sometimes you may have to remove a certain variable from your model. Alright, so identifying potential multicollinearity. So usually we do a correlation matrix. Alright, so correlation matrix, if the values are more than 0.7, there's a probability wujudnya multicollinearity. So in the first one tadi, exam results at graduation, you can see that tak ada more than 0.7. Tapi in the second data, banking data, you can see that education is highly correlated to home value and income is highly correlated to wealth. So it could indicate that this data set dia terlampau hampir to each other. Macam income dengan wealth. Logik lah kan? Kalau gaji you besar, you can assume that yes, you'll be more wealthier than those yang gaji kecil. So sometimes maybe you need to remove one of these variables. Okay, so let me just show you how to do a correlation matrix. You go back to your data set. Okay, so you ada data and you click dekat data analysis. You go to correlation and then you click OK. Alright, so input range, you can actually put all three variables sekali. House age, square feet and market value. Tick labels in the first row. Alright, group by column, of course. And then you click OK. Alright, click OK. So this is a correlation matrix. So you can see that from this correlation matrix, square feet is highly correlated to market value. Is more than 70%, more than 0.7. Yang lain okay. Alright. So that one, correlation matrix, they could exist multicollinearity among the data set. Alright. So in this case, when you remove the variable, it will affect education is no longer significant. Alright. So this one is just a process for you to cuba-cuba which model is the best, which variable best explains your model. Okay. So the values you have to focus on is the P value, the R square, significance, F. Practical issues in trendline and regression. So identifying the best model requires experimentation and error. Why? Because we don't know. Kan? Disebabkan kita tak tahu dan kita cuba-cubalah macam-macam kaedah to make sure we come up with the best model. The independent variable selected should make sense in attempting to explain the dependent variable. Logic should guide your model development. So additional variables can increase R square, so you can add more variables. And then good models are actually as simple as possible. Overfitting, sometimes you arrange your model in such a way that dia cantik, dia punya result, tapi does not really fit to the population. Alright? So sometimes, yes, there are certain circumstances whereby your result mungkin cantik, tapi the actual population tidak, the result tidak seperti itu. So in multiple regression, if we add too many terms to the model, then the model may not adequately predict other values from the population. Overfitting can be mitigated, okay, by using good logic, intuition, theory, and whatnot. So regression analysis requires numerical data. Categorical data can be included as independent variables, but must be coded using dummy variables. So for example, katakan data kamu, one of them is MBA. Alright, so this one no, yes, no, yes. Jadi kalau dalam Excel, dia tak faham. Alright, Excel hanya faham nombor. So what you can do is, you can actually say, kalau no MBA, letak kosong. Yes, MBA letak 1. So that's why certain research, let's say dia guna questionnaire survey. So bila questionnaire survey, kalau gender, lelaki, perempuan. So senang lah, lelaki 1, perempuan 0. Okay, fine. So let's say another one is religion, kan? You have Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, and then Hinduism. Katakan you ada 4. So then what do you do? So this one you have to do using using dummy variable. So how do you do that? This one madam bagi contoh sajalah. So let's say religion, Islam, Christian, Buddhist and Hindu. Okay, so katakan dia Islam, this one 0, 0, 0. Alright, so katakan so this one question, satu soalan melibatkan 4 variable jadinya. Alright, so katakan dia Christian, of course yang lain 0, 0. Question, so because you have 4 choices, then you have something like this. Alright, so katakan Buddhist ataupun katakan Hindu. Alright, so this is what it means by dummy variable. Okay. So this one tadi dia ubah, alright, and then bila dia ubah baru dia run. Alright. Alright, so interaction term, it occurs when the effect of one variable is dependent on another variable. Okay. So usually for interaction term, they run an interaction between age and MBA. So apa yang dia buat is dia darabkan. Alright, they create another variable, age darab MBA. Itu maksudnya. So dia run sekali lagi. Okay. So in this case, apabila dia run, the p-value is significant. Yes, boleh gunalah. Alright. So mungkin kita wujudkan interaction term untuk menunjukkan makin tua makin besar. In this case gaji, I think, and dia ada that qualification. Alright. This one is gaji. So what is the impact if due to your age and additional MBA qualification? Would it increase your salary or not? Okay. So these are the results in the model. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, in this chapter, your ability to interpret the model, the results. So bila you tengok something like this, you dah boleh cam which data yang you nak tengok. Okay, the R square, the P value, significance F, the coefficient and whatnot. So you boleh dapatkan information, you boleh keluarkan cerita daripada you punya data. Okay. So this one balik kepada interaction term. Okay. And then categorical variables with more than 2 levels. Alright. So this one, for example, apabila dia punya data tadi, dia tool, okay, dia guna tool A ke, tool B ke, tool C. So sama juga, you create a dummy variable, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So it means it is tool A. Alright. So you are just creating dummy variables. Okay. So these are the regression results. So dia masukkan the dummy variables. Okay. Regression model with non-linear terms. So this one dia bukan dalam bentuk garis lurus. You can use polynomial. Alright. And you can also run. And you can see that dia bukan berbentuk garis lurus. Instead it is a curve. Okay. Alright. So kita dah habis chapter 7. I'm sure you guys pening sedikit. So far any questions? Chapter 7 pula, chapter 8. Madam pun pening Class, are you guys there? Alright, so our class sampai sini sahaja hari ni. No question. Okay, so sampai sini sahaja hari ni. Alright. Slow menghadap. Okay, no problem. It's okay. If you have any questions, you can ask me. You can try to run your data and write your regression and whatnot, your assignment. Nanti you can ask on WhatsApp lah. Alright. So, okay. Thank you, class. See you guys next week, inshallah. Bye, everyone.